Hi there, welcome to another Visual C Sharp tutorial. I'm Joseph Botnar. In this video tutorial, I intend to start to make an application, a project in Visual C Sharp named Loan Payment Calculator. This application, as its name says, will compute monthly payment amount and the number of payments. The level of this application is intermediary. You are free to improve this application as you wish. Otherwise, in future, I intend to improve this application using object-oriented programming. Before I'm going to start to do this application, I want to show you a few things about this application. Actually, I installed this application in my computer. It's about this icon, which actually is executable file. I'm going to give a double click on this icon, which will launch application and main form, which contains these three buttons represented at the same time the option of this application, the monthly payment amount, the number of payments, and exit. If I press this button, monthly payment amount, or the number of payments, these two options will lead me to another form which will give the opportunity to calculate the monthly payment if I choose monthly payment, and if I choose number of payments, I've got the opportunity to calculate the number of payments, and this button exit will quit me out of this application. Also, I create this option menu, which is another way to access these options, monthly payment amount and number of payments. I give a click of this option, and as you can see, appears the same options: monthly payment, number of payments, and exit. I create on the right side, as you can see in these shortcut keys. If I'm gonna to press Ctrl N, this will lead me to another form. This form contains these controls, and here I'm gonna to calculate the monthly payment and the number of payments. On the right side here, the application will display the loan amortization or the loan outcome. Because I pressed the Ctrl N, and this option is a number of payments, that means in this moment this application will compute a number of payments, and let's do a demo. So I'm going to type 2,500 pounds, let it be pounds for loan amount. I press tab, and as you can see, the cursor skipped this loan term, which is the same with number of payments. So the cursor skipped this text box because this text box is deactivated in this moment when I choose number of payments to be calculated by this application. Interest rate, let it be 5%, and the monthly payment, let it be 74.93. I press this button, compute, and here you go. The application calculated the number of payments, which is 36. And on the right side, you have the loan amortization, loan amount 2,500, interest rate 5%. The monthly payment will be 74.93, and there will be 35 number of payments of 74.93, and final payment of 74.51. This total represent 36, and the total payments will be 2,697.06, and interest paid will be 197.06. If I press this button and you compute, the application will empty all these controls and I have the possibility to compute again the monthly payment for another certain loan amount, or I can change the option. But before that, I want to show you this status bar. I created this status bar on here on this bottom of this form. As you can see here appear this text number of payments, which represent option which I have chosen a few seconds ago. If I go again on this option, I can change the option which I want this application to calculate for me. So I'm going to choose this monthly payment option. Okay, as you can see now, all these controls were emptied, and here on this status bar, the text was changed from number of payments to monthly payments. So now in this moment, this application is going to calculate the monthly payment. So let's enter the values: 2,500, loan term 36, interest rate 5. I press compute, and here you go. The monthly payment is 74.93, and here is the loan amortization displayed in this list box. If I want to quit out of this form, I press this button exit, and the application led me to this main form, and here I can choose which option I want this application to calculate for me. Number of payments, that means this box will be deactivated, and this application will calculate the number of payments. Exit. Monthly payment, that means this text box will be deactivated, and the application is going to calculate the monthly of payment. Now, this is about this application. Let's start to do the user interface, the design. To do so, you should go on this file, choose a new project, and choose Visual C# and Windows Forms app. Here in this box, write the name of your application, loan payment amount, and here on this box you will set the location for your application. I go on this button browse. I give a click with the left side of the mouse. I'm gonna to choose the location for my application. Yeah, select the folder, and okay. Visual Studio will create automatically this form. Yeah, let's drop on this form a menu strip. Okay, a panel. Okay, I'm gonna to set a few properties for this panel. I'm gonna to set the dock to be fill, and as you can see now, this control fill in this form. I'm gonna to write a name for this panel. Pan, let it be pan options. Font, let it be 11. I want to set a back color here. I want this green color, light green color. This one I like more. Okay, and let's drop here inside this panel control a few controls, 3 buttons. Okay, a label, and now let's do this menu. double click here, and I'm going to write option, and I'm going to set the font for this menu strip. Okay, I go here, let it be 11 as well. Okay, I'm going to write the options for this menu. The first option is to this application to calculate the monthly payment, so I'm going to write this. Before the text, I'm going to use this ampersand, which will underline the first letter in front of which this is used. This will help me to access very fast an option within a menu using the keys Alt and letter which in front of which this ampersand is used. So I'm going to write a monthly payment. Okay, the second option is number of payments, and the third option is exit. Here you go. As you can see, each of these options has the first letter underlined because I used that ampersand before of each this letter. Also, I want to set shortcut keys for each of these options. I start with this first option with the monthly payment. I'm going to use this Control and M for monthly payment. For a number of payments, Control and N. For exit, Control E. These shortcut keys will help me to access a very fast option, so I don't need to use the mouse. Just I press, for example, Control M. This application will launch to another form. Okay, let's do the settings for each of these controls. I'm going to start with the form, so let's write a name. Let's change the font. Let it be 11. It's too big. Let it be 10. I'm going to change the icon. And here the text. Now the menu. Let's start with the option first, and let's give a name for it. I'm going to copy this and paste here for each of these options. And add monthly payment. Number of payments, and exit. Here you go. Let's write here a text for this label. I don't need to change the name. It's okay with its current name, label 1. Just I want to change the text. select an option. I want to change this back color from green to yellow. The border style, I want to be fixed 3D. Okay. I want these buttons to have the same size, so let's check this button too, the size. Let's copy and paste. And this one. Okay, now the buttons has the same side. Let's do the settings for buttons. Let's give a name for each of these buttons. Okay, let's change the color, the back color. Let it be this orange. Let's change the text. Let's change the font as well. I need to do it bigger. Let it be 12, or let's try this font style, bold. Yeah, I think it's okay. And let's change the color for writing. Let's see this blue. It's not very visible. It's not very intelligible, so I'm going to use dark blue. Yeah, much better. Is better, good. Here is this property anchor. So now this property is set top and left. That means this control is bound to the edge of the left and of the top of this container, this panel container. I select the button. I go here on this property anchor, and I give a click on the right and on the bottom. And now if I resize this form, you can see how this buttons is changing its shape together with the form. It's going together with the form. And now the right side of this control is bound to this right edge of this panel container. Okay, and you can notice now the other buttons doesn't move, doesn't changing their shapes together with the form like the first button, because this side, the right side, is not bound to the edge of this container. Yeah, and this is available also for the bottom. As you can see, the first button is moving together with the edge of the bottom of this panel container, and other two buttons doesn't move together with this first button. So this is about this anchor property. Okay, now let's do the setting for the second button. Let's set the anchor property as well for this button. Okay, the third button, the name first, the back color, the anchor, because we are already here, the font. Okay, the text, exit, and the fore color. I want to change the fore color to be dark blue. Okay, here you go. Now I can resize this form as I want. As you can see, the buttons doesn't look very well if you get this form too bigger. So I'm going to set the minimum and the maximum size for this form. So I'm gonna go here. Actually, I'm going to use the same size for the minimum size and for the maximum size. So now the user can't modify this form. As you can see, now it's stuck because I set the same size for maximum and minimum size. So in this case, the user can't resize, can't change the size of this form. Let's first to release this application. This is the application in this moment. I've got this form. If I go on over of this menu option, I give a click. I try to access one of these options, for example, monthly payment. Nothing happened. I go on a number of payments. I give a click. Nothing happened. And so on here on the buttons, it doesn't happen anything. In order to activate these options, monthly payment and number of payments, I should create another form. To do so, let's go here on the Solution Explorer. Let's select this project, loan payment amount. I give a click on it with the right of the mouse, add, select this Windows form. Here I'm going to write the name of the other form. Let it be payment. And click on this button, add. In this moment we have this form, another form. If I run again this application, if I give a click on monthly payment amount, you can see how the application released another form. Actually, I want to design this second form where the user is going to enter the values represent the loan amount, the loan term, interest rate, the monthly payment. So let's do so. Let's close this. Let's release the Visual Studio. Before I do the design for this form, I should write a code which will allow me to launch this new form. How I can do this? First, I'm going to give a name for this form. Here I'm going to write this name. I go back and I want to change the name for the first form. And let's release the code, and here I'm going to write the following statements. I'm going to give a double click on this form, loan payment calculator. And here inside of this method, I'm going to write this statement. Here I've got an error. I should change this. Yeah, now it's okay. Good. Okay, let's give a click on this monthly payment amount button. Okay, and inside this method I'm going to write this statement. This method show. Now release the application. And let's give a click on this button, monthly payment amount. As you can see, the new form was launched. Let's close it. Let's release the new form again. I receive an exception error. To avoid this exception error, you have to write the following statements here. You go on another form, the new form payment. Go give a click on this with the right side of the mouse and click on view code. Okay, let's go again on this form payment design, and here in properties window select events, and I'm looking for form closing events. It's about this one, yeah. And now I'm gonna to write the name of the form which I want to be released by using the main form. So it's about this form payment underline, and I'm gonna to write the event and enter. This will lead me to this inside this method, and I'm going to write these statements. Okay, now let's release again this application. Okay, let's give a click on this button, monthly payment amount. The new form was launched, as you can see. Let's give a click again. Let's give a click again, and so on. So in this moment we don't receive that exception error. Okay, so now this works properly. I'm gonna to go back here, and I'm gonna to copy and paste this line of code for another options. Okay, for this option, number of payments. Here you go. The same for these options regard to this menu, monthly payment. Number of payments. Okay. Let's release again this application. And let's see how this works. Yeah, the form was released. Number of payments, it works for this option. Now for menu, yeah, so it works properly. Let's check the these shortcut keys. Let's press Ctrl N. Yeah, so the shortcut keys, it works as well. Okay. Now let's see. Let's write the code for this bottom exit. Close. And for the menu. Okay. Now let's do the design for this form, for payment form. Let's finish with the setting for the form. Let's change the icon. Okay, I'm gonna to set the size when I finish this to design this form. So now I'm gonna to drop on this form this menu strip. Again, this panel container, and this status strip control. Okay, let's start with this panel control. So I'm gonna to set the dock property with the fill. So This one is gonna to fill, as you can see, this form. Yeah, I'm going to set the back color with a green color. Okay. The font 11. Okay, that's it. Let's go back on this menu. Let's write here option. Let's put here the ampersand. Monthly payment, and here number of payments. Let's set the font for 11. Okay. Okay, let's set the shortcut keys. Let's drop here this group box. Let's set for this group box this property doc, which will place. Actually, I want to place this group box on the left side, and I'm gonna to do this. I press here this left, and it's gonna to fill the left side, and I'm gonna to get it bigger a bit. Yeah, I think it's enough. Now the second box. Let's write let's set the dock for the right side. Yeah, that means this control will be bound to the edge of the right panel container, and this one, another one, will be bound left edge of panel container. Okay, let's change the text here. Loan outcome. Yeah, and let's place here inside this group box loan outcome list box. Let's drop on this side, on the left side, a few buttons. A few text boxes. Let's copy those and paste. Okay. Let's drop a few labels. Okay. Okay, let's change the text for these labels. Loan amount. Loan term. Interest rate. And the monthly payment. Okay, here you go. Let's do a few changes. I need to get a bigger this group box situated on the left side. There is not enough room to set up properly these controls. Let's get bigger, more bigger. Okay. Good. Okay, let's set the same size for these two buttons. Okay, good. Let's make the form a bit bigger. Okay. And another I need another button. I need another button here on this side. An exit button. Okay, let's do the settings for all of these controls. Let's start with the name here above. Okay. Here you go. We have now the design, the user interface for the second form. So we have the main form, which is represented by this form. Yeah, but I want to go back. Just I remember I didn't set the size for this form. So as I can see, this size suits very well this form. Maybe a bit smaller. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go here on properties. I'm looking for size. Should be here. Yeah. I copy this and I paste here for minimum size and maximum size. So now in this moment this form can be changed because I set the same size for the minimum and the maximum size. Okay, so we have two forms. This is the first and the main form, which contains these three options represented by these buttons, and on the above I got this menu which contains the same options. Either I use the menu to get the options or these buttons, I get the same things. So the application will calculate either the monthly payment amount or the number of payments. If I want to quit of this application, I use this button exit, or I can use the exit from this option menu. Another form is this payment form, which contains the controls used by user to enter all details regard to loan amount, loan term, interest rate, monthly payment, and the buttons which is going to calculate the monthly payment or the number of payments. Just I notice here this text box is not properly, because it should be smaller, and I need another label here. Okay, and I think I should change the size of this form. I don't think it's enough big, so I'm gonna to remove the size for minimum and maximum size to be able to resize this form to get bigger this first group box on the left side. I think much bigger. Okay. And let's write inside this label monthly. Okay, now I think it's okay. Let's get this bigger. Okay, let's set again the minimum and maximum size for this form. I'm gonna to copy this size and paste here where is this minimum and maximum size. Okay, and now you can't change this form. Okay, and Let's change the name here. Just I noticed a mistake here. Display. Okay. So the second form contains all the controls which the user is going to use to enter all the details regard to loan amount, loan term, interest rate, monthly payment, and the buttons which is going to compute the monthly payment on or the number of payments to get a new compute which will empty all these controls, and you are able to calculate to get another calculation either for a number of payments or a monthly payment. And this list box will display the loan, the summary of loan amortization, and this exit button will quit the user out of this form. This is, as I told you, the second form, and the first form is this one. So let's release again this application. Let's see if everything is all right, if this application works properly at this stage. So what I have done so far, I designed two forms which represent a user interface, and I create the ability for this form to access to another form. So how I can access another form? I use these buttons, or either these buttons or this option within this menu. So I'm going to give a click on monthly payment. As you can see, the application launched the second form, number of payments. We have again this form. I go over this option, monthly payment, and number of payments. If I want to quit out of this form, the second form, I press the button exit. It doesn't happen anything because I didn't write the code, but if I press here on the main form, this button exit, I quit out of this application. So I'm gonna give a double click on this button exit, yeah, and I'm gonna to write this statement, which is a method will close the form. Yeah, let's release again this application. Okay, let's go again on this form. If I press now this button exit, now I can quit out of the second form again. Yeah, again. Let's use shortcut keys. So I'm going to press Control M. As you can see, it was launched second form. Let's press Control E, and I quit out of this application. I think in this moment is enough. I'm going to continue with this application in the next video tutorials. I don't know in this moment how many video tutorials I need to do to finish this application. Maybe another 2 or 3 videos will be enough to finish this application. Thank you for watching this video tutorial, and I invite you for the next video tutorials regarding this project loan payment calculator. Thank you very much. See you next time.